rips one into the night, deep into right, way out.
Moves to the right, it goes directly to Clement. Clement reverses it, and the pass goes into the end zone.
To Nick Foles.
It's a touchdown by Nick.
He scores! Pete Primo is able to win it, and the Flyers win the touchdown.
Can he get it off? Yes! And the Sixers win it!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talking 215. I am your host, Jake. Join with me, as always, Shawnee Z. Sean, how we doing, brother?
What's up? I'm feeling pretty good. This is a pretty good day as far as the right after the All-Star break. We're feeling pretty good. So City's feeling it. I'm feeling good.
No doubt. Now, obviously, we are joined by two lovely guests, Lee and Pam from Philly Shirt Shop. How we doing, ladies?
Hey guys.
Hello. Great.
Thanks for having us on.
I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course. No, we've been in talks about having you guys on for obviously a little bit now. So super excited to finally have you on an episode. Why don't you tell all the listeners a little bit about yourself, a little about your company before we really dive into some sports here.
All right. Well, I'm Pam from Philly Shirt Shop. We started the business in 2017. I guess we wanted to give Philly sports a women's perspective almost. I mean, we obviously have a lot of women's sports fans in the city, and I don't think there's any guys really doing what we're doing, at least right now. But
we don't have any women's pro teams, so we're trying to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
When they get here, we're in already.
Oh, no doubt.
But just try to be a different voice, and we have a lot of sports media in this town, and you guys excluded, but you know what I mean, the mainstream stuff. I mean, it's all the same, and it gets very tiring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just
lifelong Philly sports fans, and just passionate about the city, and we get to work with local schools, charities, all that type of stuff. So it's been really cool so far.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it's awesome. Well, like I said, we're super happy to have you on. Really looking forward to just jumping into a bunch of Philly sports topics. All the viewers out there right now, obviously we are live, and for anybody listening after the fact, you missed a great show, or you're going to. But glad that you're listening to the audio at least. But yeah, the comments are open. Anybody that has any questions for Lee or Pam or myself or Sean, or just has any kind of points or ramblings you want to touch on based on the topics we're talking about, throw a comment out there. We'll throw it up on screen. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to make sure that you allow your comments to be viewed on StreamYard so that we can see them live in the show. If not, they will show up, but not until after the show, so we won't really be able to respond to them. But yeah, like you said, great week. All-Star break came at a perfect time.
Yeah.
It was great to get a sweep of the Marlins before we went into that All-Star break. Obviously, we talked with Joey last time. It seemed like everything was going downhill, and we kind of had that Philadelphia vibe. It's what always happens. We have something good going, and then we just start slumping. We carry that slump into the break, and we come out lifeless. But that didn't happen.
It didn't. It's weird.
This team responded. I mean, if you guys were tuning in, or if anybody at home was tuning in last week, I mean, everything that we said wanted to get done got done. Right. So, this is kind of some of the biggest things that we see with Philly Rob at the helm. This team, when it needed to respond, it responded.
Yeah.
No,
in the offense, they ran for 7 games. I think they averaged 2 runs a game for 7 games straight. And then to have them come out and just start,
I'm going to put a 10 spot on you.
Yeah. A 10 spot with a shutout on top of it too.
And they were playing against some really good pitching, and a team that gave them trouble for years.
Alcantara is probably the best pitcher in the majors right now, and to even get 2 runs against him is incredible. And both times we faced him this year, we've actually, I think we put either 4 or 5 against him the first time, which is insane. And then a 2 spot this time, which was plenty. We win 2-1.
Yeah, it's plenty when you don't have Gene or Bryce. I feel like that's
We've been
No,
like,
seriously, and it's funny you mentioned
that's money.
Gene.
You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding? If you can beat them without Gene and Bryce.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, and it's funny that you mentioned Gene. We were talking right before we went live, Sean and I, over a delicious plate of spaghetti with crab red sauce and garlic bread. Delicious. Talking 2 and 5, not only known for their sports talk. But we were talking like, has Segura really only been out since the 1st of June? Because it feels like he's been out since like
Forever.
the second week of May, like or the first week of May. Like it feels like he hasn't played all year.
No.
He was like the only person
does
that
feel
played
like
the first part of the season. I felt like
Right.
You know, when Girardi was the only one that like Girardi got through to. I don't know.
He was the only person in the lineup outside of Bryce that's just going to do his thing no matter what.
Exactly.
It seemed to take to Girardi's coaching style.
Yeah.
And he got hurt.
Well, he's a veteran. Girardi only coaches the veterans.
Right.
He doesn't give a shit about younger players.
He
No,
got
he's
hurt
giving
on the
his
31st.
Yeah.
It seems like he's been out for forever. You
Yeah,
know, it's
I'm like,
it's only the middle of July or
Yeah, and he's a 10 to 12 week expected
yeah.
timeout, and he's at what, maybe 7
He's
or 8?
still got another month.
Yeah.
feels like
I mean,
14
we hope to get him within the next 3-4 weeks. We're still, 25 days away from Segura coming back.
Oh my god.
Well,
So
Bryce will be back before that, right? Well, I think it came out today.
he
Schedule?
yeah, they mentioned that he was hoping to get the pins taken out of his hand within the next week.
Which is a great stepping stone. I mean, that bodes well for him getting full range of motion, being able to really test his boundaries. But you also don't want him to rush back.
No.
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 Especially
No.
with an injury that's going to be impacted every swing.
Oh yeah,
You
like look, we get it. He's not playing defense, so you don't have to worry so much about throwing or anything. But it's
like
still
don't
something
use
that
your
vibration goes up the bat every swing.
Yeah.
Right,
you're gonna
exactly.
feel it.
exactly.
And you want no pain. You want nothing that keeps him from going, I want to swing as hard as I can. Obviously,
Right.
sometimes you got to play small ball, slap one out to
Right.
the green grass. But with a guy like Bryce, he tends to swing for the fences, and a lot of the time he gets it there.
Yeah.
It's
If he wants to slide head first, he should be able to.
No, amen to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Maybe he'll just dislocate his finger like Bowman. But Lee, Pam, we obviously All-Star game was yesterday. Who cares? Pretty much all professional sports All-Star games are pointless.
Yeah.
But obviously that's kind of the unofficial halfway part of the season. What were some of your first half thoughts? We touched on this last episode with me, you and Joey, but I'd love to get both of your thoughts on just some of the players that have really stood out to you, or some of the players that you had high hopes for that are really not playing well through the first half. And then that'll kind of bring us right into our main topic with the Phillies of what do we expect coming out of the break. But I really want to get both of your thoughts on, the players heading into the break before we touch on heading out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think, the first half, I was really happy with Alec. Obviously, I think
I'm a big Bohm guy.
Yeah, I heard you're a big Bohm guy. But yeah, just like after the whole ordeal that everyone knows happened, he's like playing so much more comfortable. It seems like at at the plate and at third base, and it's just been like a really nice turnaround to watch. I mean, as far as like disappointments, obviously Nick, I'm still hopeful that he's gonna turn around second
So
half.
am I. So
I'm not as
just hoping it's like a matter of him getting comfortable here. I don't know. I mean,
Selling his house.
yeah.
Yeah.
seriously, burn it to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, like
For more stage.
he kind of set himself up for failure with that one. But yeah, so and I think recently, obviously, the bullpen has been,
Where did this come from? Like
It's-
2 episodes ago, I'm ripping Nick Nelson saying, the guy's probably not even vaccinated.
Right.
And now he's going out there pitching gem after gem.
In Canada. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Especially considering that it seems like they're having to throw a bullpen game every week because of all the injuries with the starters and everything. I think the bullpen has been a pleasant surprise considering how bad it's been the last few years. So.
Yeah, especially with Eflin being out, and every 5th game must really relying on a bullpen game where
Mhm.
you might be able to get just a random guy that can go three in a third. But with this 5th start requiring these guys where you're going to see at least 5 guys out there, it's nice to have them put up some games like the the bullpen game they played. Who was it against? The last game against the Cardinals.
Yep.
Where it was a bullpen game. They only gave up 5 runs,
4 or 5
Yeah.
runs,
which is I mean that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Also, breaking news on the show right now. It appears that the Harden deal is now official. We will touch on it. We'll touch on it when we talk about the Sixers, but it looks like Woj is reporting a 2-year, $68.6 million deal. Just want to get that out there super quick.
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, back to the Phillies because we will touch on that in depth when we get to the Sixers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Lee. What about you? What are some players that you really enjoyed in the first half, and what do you kind of? And then we'll all touch on what do we kind of hope on coming out of the break.
Yep.
That's a good one. I think Bone would have been my answer too, but Pam went first because I just love anybody that like says like my bad and then like was like it just seemed like the Phillies.
No, he did exactly what he did. He
He
responded to that perfectly. Like
yeah, and I felt like it like helped him. His shoulders like have been down ever since, and like he just plays baseball now. You know what I mean? And he's been playing well. I just love that.
no,
As like
for
a
real.
Philly fan in general, I just love that whole storyline, and I love third baseman. But Camargo has been a good surprise, honestly.
No, who would have thought when he went on the IL that was like a big hit?
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm
people
a
were like,
big
"Oh,
Matty V fan. Big
Yeah,
Matt
thank
V.
goodness that Matt Vierling can play every position on the field except for pitcher or catcher.
And
And
he's
we don't,
clutch.
he might be
Clutch,
able to do those too.
Actually, he might be good.
Yeah,
at
he's
that.
like-
Yeah.
I think he played a little pitcher in high school. So
Yeah, I'm
watch
sure.
out, guys.
Too, so it might have been
With the all-
Really, yeah, he's been huge. Just like just plug him in anywhere. It seems like, and he's-
Honestly, Tom First has been my biggest surprise. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
But that's like I love that guy. Like Rob Thompson. I love him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Philly
Yeah,
Rob,
he's-
Canadian Rob.
I don't know if like Girardi just was not showing up or if Thompson just has like that ability to talk to his players or he just talks to his players in general. I don't know. But either way, it's a totally different team. Like the bullpen, a totally different, it's just a totally
like,
different
same
team.
guys, but they're
Same guys, different mentality, different everything. Right?
Yeah.
Now I think the big thing with Girardi is I was at that game where we had Angel Hernandez behind the plate and Schwarber lost it on him with like a real all-time, it's an all-season ejection. It was incredible.
Yeah, that was-
And I kind of thought I've not been a Joe Girardi fan for at least the whole 2 years, all last season, then everything,
Nine.
every part of this season. You if anybody watched the show last year, you heard Joey and I just ripping the guy to shreds. But that really kind of solidified it for me that I was like, this guy has to go because he was watching that game the whole time, watching Angel Hernandez have one of the worst performances all year, like one of the worst in the past 5 seasons. And he never came out once to talk to him like, hey, Angel, like, this is getting out of hand. Like, this is ridiculous. And then even when Schwarber blew up, like, he kind of set his little binder down, his analytics binder, walked out to the plate and was just like, come on, Angel, like, you've been bad. Can you do better? Like, he wasn't fiery. He
Please.
wasn't. Yeah. Can you
Please.
Like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I'm
Okay,
your
fine.
favorite, Angel.
He was coaching as he was managing as if he had already lost the job. Like he was like, look, I know I'm gone. Why put the effort in? Who cares?
yeah.
And it showed.
The front office agreed.
Yeah. And I'm just a little bit surprised. It's funny. I know pre-show I was like, yeah, we're gonna start with Eagles. Completely threw that out. Got starting with Philly.
It's okay. I had no idea what the itinerary was. So let's go, Phils.
We rarely have one here at Talking 205. But it's funny. I was surprised with Philly Rob being a guy that's really followed Girardi around.
Yeah.
That I was like, he might just be kind of a Girardiite, like just kind of falls right into his shoes and does the same thing. And obviously there haven't been many situations where he needs to be fiery.
Yeah.
But I'll be curious to see what happens in a situation where Angel Hernandez is behind the plate again,
Sure.
where he has to go out there and stick up for his guys.
Right.
But he hasn't coached like Girardi at all. He's
No.
He stepped up in every single way that the fan base had been clamoring for
Yes.
for months with Girardi.
Oh yeah, and has he made his mistakes? Sure. Like having
yeah.
Moniak hit when he should have pinch hit for him a couple of times. Like Moniak can't hit any. Like give the guy a tennis racket and he still would whiff.
I think
Like
it's better to believe in a guy and be wrong than to not play a guy and be wrong. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
no, and I
Bryson
think a lot of the
has
younger
to
players are with you on
feel
that. Like all the reports are that the younger players love this guy. So I think they're kind of with you on that.
It reminds me of Doc Rivers. It does though. Like he doesn't. I just felt like we.
Doc
watched
Rivers
the-
sucks.
Dude, you don't have to tell me.
He's Glenn Rivers on this show, by the way. We didn't give the doctorate.
Glenn,
Like,
no more, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't get a
Let's
doctorate.
But kind of like, yeah, it seemed similar, like just refusal to play like the young guys. Like, see what you have, especially when like the season wasn't going the Phillies' way. Like, he just refused to like put any of the young guys in, and it obviously, like, you know, Rob did it, and it gave the team a spark. Like, the whole daycare, you know, it's been winning games for him.
Daycare. Yeah.
No, and that kind of touches perfectly on just carrying into the post All-Star break. One, like, he's playing the young guys, he's getting them in there. But one thing I really want to see is Castellanos out of the 3 spot. Like, until he starts getting his swing back. And look, Castellanos, he's got hits in 13 of his last 14 games. Only 3 of them he had more than 1 hit, and they were only 2 hits. He hasn't had more than 2 hits in that stretch. But he does have hits in 13 of his last 14 games. I know most of those are kind of Dak Prescott, like padding the stats hits. Like, bottom of the 9th, you got a positional player out there. Not really, but you got like you're either up big or down big, and nobody's on. There's 2 outs, and you slap a single over the second baseman. But he's getting hits. He's getting his rhythm back.
Yeah.
But one of the things I do want to see him adjust is right now Castellanos can't be in the 3-hole. Like, he's hurting guys like Reese, who's kind of heating up a little bit. He's has his up and downs. Obviously, Summer Schwarber's still hot.
Right.
He's still roping dingers. Throw Bomer in the 3-hole.
Yeah.
Like, he's been hitting the ball great. He's been batting something like 300 over the past 20 games.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been.
there's going to be one lineup change. You're right. I mean, he's got to go into the.
You got to play him, obviously. Like,
Yeah,
who else would you
for
put
sure.
out there in right
For
field?
sure.
Yeah, you don't really have a choice either because like he has to play.
I mean, also has to
Yeah.
let him know that there are repercussions to playing this poorly.
Yeah.
Right. I totally agree.
You know.
Yeah, but Ben Silver over at Phillies SI, great group over there. They've kind of touched on over the past just like 2 or 3 games, not like a long stretch, but you've seen him take that low and away slider a little bit more.
He's got to hear it.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got to hear from everybody.
Oh, yeah. But even when he was hearing it, he like that was his kryptonite. He swung at it something like 80% of the time. And you know it's coming. They throw it something like I was reading something that Philly SI posted. Our boy Ben Silver, and we're going to be having him on in the coming days, weeks, really. But he was saying like it was something like 60-something% he was seeing that pitch, and he was swinging at it like over 80% of the time. And he's starting to take it a little bit more. And, you know, once he gets his big hit pitch is the high outside pitch. He ropes that.
Yep.
He can't hit the low outside. So, you know, you start seeing it. They keep throwing it, trying to go outside. They miss their spot. That's when he has to make them pay.
Yeah.
But should he do that in the 3-hole? No.
No, he's good. He should, if he's not going to do it in AAA, he should do it at 9 or at this point. Like, he's not. I don't know. He's just not. Do something to like shake him up. I feel like he just strikes me as someone who will respond to like his ego being bruised a little. Like, if you move him down, maybe like he just seems like the guy who will rise to the occasion to me.
What do you think, Jake? Send him down to AAA?
No. Yeah.
No, it's funny. You said AAA.
That's
Obviously, you meant
like the best
3-hole.
you can do.
I mean, that'll wake him
that would
up.
shake things up.
Yeah, that'll really.
Hey, why don't you go play with Moniac right
Right.
now? We sent his ass back down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm saying I want Quinn. I want Roman Quinn up here.
So I think Roman Quinn's actually out of
Brad
the
Ainsley or
organization
whatever his name
again.
Is he?
I think that he's ineligible to go back down, and they just
Yeah.
completely got rid of him again.
Right.
Roman's gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Roman's completely off the organization. I'm not 100%.
I heard that. I
saw
heard
that.
that.
The guy, if the guy knew how to bunt, he'd still have a job in the majors. With his speed, all he had to do was learn how to bunt. He couldn't even do that.
Oh my God, you sound like I could have like a campaign strictly dedicated. I'm like, why can't Roman Quinn bunt?
Yeah, like, if he knew how to bunt,
the
he'd have
only
a
way
job.
he gets into the major leagues at this point is if he can.
Yeah,
be a
Michael
master
Franco
bunter.
still playing on a weekly basis, and Roman Quinn could just, if he learned how to bunt,
He's
he'd
been
be fine.
trying to just turn the corner. He's been so close for a
Every time
decade
he
now.
turns a
I
corner,
don't think it's going to happen. No.
Sean,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts heading out of the break? What are you hoping to say?
I mean, you know, I go back to, you know, everything that we were hoping Rob Thompson did. We have seen an uptick in ever since he's taken over. So all the young guys, they're starting to get a lot more playing time. You're seeing Veerling out there.
Yeah.
You're seeing Bohm. You know, we're going to hopefully I would like to see a little more Stott from week to week.
Yeah, Stott's been hitting the ball a lot better.
Even Derek
His
Hall.
plate discipline has been great.
Yeah. So seeing some of the younger guys, especially in the absences of a couple vets, That's been a big one. I'm definitely interested to see what kind of moves we make a bit closer to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
You
Me
know,
too. That's
No, we
what-
talk about these injuries.
Yeah.
Like our team's playing well right now, and we're still probably going to add a bat, and we're still going to get Segura back, and we're still going to get Harper back. Like if we
our
stay in
two
this
best
hunt,
players, arguably.
this September could be some really fun baseball.
we have
Right.
a very favorable schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
said that last year too,
And Bryce is the
and the
kind
year
of guy
before
that
that.
doesn't come back with like rust.
you know,
Bryce,
we've-
Bryce is like never rusty when he comes back. He comes back, he's like boom, he's like just like ready to go.
No,
Bryce is-
seriously, he got smacked in the face, and he missed he had 3 games where he wasn't playing well, and then he had obviously
Right.
an MVP caliber season.
right.
so
He's
hard
he's
about
got a
it.
hard head.
Yeah.
But
is.
what I also like is that we're starting to actually play the Marlins really well.
Yeah.
And we've got
Mhm.
something like between the Marlins and what else?
I feel like we always see the Pirates in the second half. We haven't seen
We've
them
got
yet.
20 games where we play the Marlins or the Nationals.
Oh, that's great.
So like
Already
what I
did that.
really liked a little bit is that we started to beat the bad teams.
yeah, and you need
consistently.
to continue to do that.
If we continue
Don't
to
play
do
down
that,
to your opponents.
right. If we continue to do that, we're in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
So keep playing some of these younger guys. We love the ascension of the bullpen.
We control our destiny.
right. We've got essentially what it conflates to definitely a top 10 bullpen. They were ranked 12th in ERA this season, and over the last month and a half, this has been a top 5-6 bullpen.
Yeah, for the past
If we
Wow.
ride that wave, there's absolutely no reason why we don't coast into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I agree. Our
Yeah,
starters-
so I'll touch on some of my post All-Star game stuff, and then we'll get into some Eagles talk. Obviously, that's probably going to be the most that we talk about. So we'll, we don't want to run an hour and a half episode, although I know all of you would love it. I just have a few things written down here. Castellanos. Like he's got to move him down in a slot, see what he can do down there. Try to get his confidence back up. Ruben Amaro, I pray that you're right that he's going to be the best hitter in the second half of the season. I don't think he will. I still have confidence in him, just maybe not this season.
Ruben,
you saw-
we will sing your praises from the mountaintops if you're right.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Next point, Matt Vierling needs to be an everyday player. We've been seeing him play a lot more. He needs to stay in the lineup. His obviously his July's cooled off some, but batting .313 through all of June.
Yeah.
He started doing a little bit better there towards the end. I think just steady at bats, steady major league pitching. Even though he has played most of the game, something like 85% of them, get him to 100%.
Yep.
Like he is our everyday center fielder,
yeah.
and we need to just leave him there.
Yes.
And then if there's an injury, sure, move him to second, move him to short. But
Yeah.
keep him there, keep him comfortable. There is something to be said, even if it's seeing the same at bats, being in the same position, being comfortable every time. There's something to be said about that. Not going to a position that you're like, I can do this, but I feel like, am I worried the whole time that I'm going to have to make a web gem? We're in center field. He's got the speed. He's got the range. He can make a play. Then the trade deadline for me, the most important thing, because I touched on, Segura will be back. Harper will be back. It's not so much we need a bat, but with that Eflin injury, we need a 5th starter.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I was looking at our past couple of years, and we had 2 guys that would have been excellent 5th starters. Have you looked at Cole Irvin, his stats with the Oakland Athletics this season?
I heard about them today, actually. I heard he's.
Cole Irvin, we traded him away for cash considerations.
I know.
Which is,
I heard
we didn't even
that.
get anything.
Hell of
We
a player.
yeah,
That
we got-
cash consideration.
We got nothing from him. We traded him to open up a spot on the roster.
Mhm.
Cole Irvin pitches for the Oakland Athletics. Obviously, your ERA is going to be a little bit better there because that stadium is huge. Like it's so difficult to hit a home run there. So that kind of helps. But Cole Irvin has a home ERA of 1.68. And overall his ERA is something like 3.88. And
I heard
I'll
that.
we
take
traded
that as
him
a fit.
away for, hey, think about sometime giving us some money. You don't have to, but just think about it. Cash consideration.
Yeah.
We got nothing for him. Another guy, Nick Pivetta.
Oh, I was just
Oh.
gonna bring him up. I was just gonna. Yeah, I was gonna bring
He's
him
been on the
up.
Red Sox. He's been away from the Phillies for a little bit now.
Yeah.
But look, obviously his past month has been terrible. He's like the July, he only pitched, I think, 3 games, but he had like a 12 ERA. But through all of May and all of June, he had a 2.18 ERA. We got Brandon Workman and Hembry for him, neither of which are on the team.
Were you a big Pavetta guy when he was on the club?
No,
No.
But that's kind of brings the question: why do pitchers leave and do so well? Because Boston's certainly not like a pitcher's ballpark like Oakland is.
Sure.
Like Oakland, yeah, you're like the homer ERA. Put a little asterisk next to it because it's got like a 430-foot center field porch. Like it's difficult to get the ball out of that park.
Yeah.
But we're getting rid of these young guys. They're pitching well elsewhere. We could have had them. Like I'm just kind of more of like, we need a fifth starter, but here's some guys that I can talk about and rant about for 5 minutes because we had these guys. And Cole Irvin definitely hurts because we got nothing for him.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we could trade for him right now and it would cost us nothing huge, but it still cost us more
Way
than
more
nothing.
than we lost.
More
Yeah,
than
yeah.
cash
Yeah,
consideration.
we can't be like, we'll give you some cash back. No.
We more than consider it. We have to guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good question. Like, yeah, because like Nick had a good year last year too, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been pretty solid for Boston since
Since
he's
he left the Phillies, and to be fair though, we gave Nick Pivetta a solid opportunity. I felt like I was.
No,
pretty
well,
when we got rid of him, I wasn't. When we got rid of him, I wasn't like, oh no, we lost Pivetta.
Right.
Like when he left, I was like, oh, Brandon Workman, like we need a bullpen piece. He's pretty solid. He ended up being awful. Like, just terrible.
I don't think there's too many Pivetta guys in the city by the time we dealt him.
No.
No.
But now it's hindsight. You're like, man, that would be really nice on our team right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it the coaching staff? Is it the catchers calling the games? Is it?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the pitching especially,
culture.
comfort is such a big thing.
Yeah.
It is. It's what we're used to anyway.
Oh yeah. So does anybody else have any Phillies topics, Phillies takes they want to get off their chest before we get into the birds? Lee, Pam, anything?
I don't, but Pam looks like she has one.
No, I mean, I'm optimistic. That's all. I think.
Talking about the fightings.
Yeah,
I am too.
it's just good to like have competitive baseball back.
Oh yeah, the city
Like,
is dying for it.
we love
it
it.
just seems like so long ago that
It
like
was long ago.
too long, just too long.
It's been a decade.
Yeah,
Actually,
we
it's
were
been a
spoiled
decade.
for like half a decade.
Yeah.
No, seriously. All right, well, let's talk some birds. I thought you posed a great question early of training camp right around the corner and just some position battles that each of us are really excited about. So Sean, what position are you really looking forward to seeing in training camp and seeing kind of who's going to battle it out for the spot?
I'm definitely most interested in seeing how this linebacking core is going to look. Did I steal that from you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
go. We wanted to keep it fresh. We didn't go over what topics we wanted to go over. But yeah, I was like, this linebacker core, it's going to be a great battle. Well, we can go back and forth, and Lee and Pam can hop in there.
Are you guys as excited as we are? I mean, just because I really don't know how the scheme is going to totally work out, how these athletes are going to take to it. We've got a ton of names that are really, as far as talent and skill, seem to be right around the same level.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be interesting to see, because I don't think the starting rotation at the beginning of the year is going to resemble anything that we see in weeks 9, 10 and beyond. So
No.
not even so much a training camp battle, but just like a continuously throughout the season, something I'm really looking forward to seeing is how this linebacking room shakes out.
No, I mean, some of the names mainly that I wrote down to watch: TJ Edwards, Sean Bradley, Davion Taylor, Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean. Like, obviously, Hassan Reddick, he's kind of a linebacker, hybrid edge rusher. His position's locked.
Right.
But of those guys, like I have some notes here. TJ Edwards last year finished with 130 total tackles, 64 of them being solo. But the first half of the year, he only played 40% of the snaps. He played 16 games, didn't play that week 17 game against Dallas. So half the season, he only played 40% of the defensive snaps. Second half, he jumped up to 94% of the defensive snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw him take over some, not games, but drives where you had, consecutive plays where he was the best player on the defense and he was breaking up some passes. I know he had that very clutch interception. He had 2 pass defenses against Denver. He really shined in the second half and he kind of made a position where, like, we thought going into the season, Alex Singletary, like, he had a great end of the previous season. Like, we thought he would really lock it in. He didn't lock it up. I can't even remember the clown that we got from, what was it, Minnesota, that we ended up cutting like 5-6 games in.
Yeah.
Eric Wilson. Yeah,
I was also excited about that too.
he absolutely sucked. And so, like, that's a position that no matter what, like, it's going to be up in the air.
Yeah.
And then the main player that he's probably going up against in Kaiser White, Like he's another guy, pretty similar stature, like a little bit undersized. TJ Edwards is a little bit bigger than him. But yeah, 144 total tackles. 90 of them were solo. And he's steadily been increasing his level of play since his rookie year to this year. He's only 26 years old.
Sure.
He's on a great team-friendly deal, 1 year, possibility of getting up to $5 million. That's great. He's a player that I could really see if he plays well. You're going to have that same kind of time that Avonte Maddox and Dallas Goedert got their extension last year. Like that same time of the season, they're like, look, he's 26, playing great. Let's lock him in.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that I could really see be eligible for a 2 to 3 year extension mid-season this year. But he's the type of player that Gannon loves. I mean, that we think Gannon loves because we have no idea what he loves. But he excels in zone coverage. He excels in zone coverage. And we run, at least last year, we ran 88% zone.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you rarely see man-to-man linebackers.
Sure.
But he's a guy that, he's not going to really rush the passer, but he's a great downfield linebacker. The running back gets through the hole. He does a really good job of stepping up and keeping it to a 5-yard gain rather than a 15-yard gain. Drops back in zone coverage, able to cover tight ends pretty well. Some slot receivers he does all right with. Obviously, that's going to be more of Avonte Maddox.
Sure.
But that's mainly the battle that I'm looking forward to there. I have plenty of notes on Shawn Bradley and Davion Taylor, but I want to get Lee and Pam's quick thoughts on the linebacker group and the position battle that we're going to see shake out, like you said, pretty much all year long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you.
I feel very similar to you. I'm just excited to see because I wasn't sure what to expect. That was probably one of the biggest obviously the biggest areas of weakness the Eagles had last year, and in general for a while, honestly. But I'm excited because I've been watching it over the season. I remember hearing maybe Jordan Hicks would come back, and I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting, cause what else are we gonna do? But I think I'm excited with what they've done, and I'm excited to see what happens. I really want to see what Gannon is made of this year. I think if he doesn't, kind of like Jalen Hurts, if Gannon can't make it work this year, then we know
you ain't gonna make it work anywhere.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
it's kind of okay, well, we set you up for success. What the hell, But I'm excited to see what he does because I feel like we saw the second half of the season, we were seeing it every week more and more. Kind of it made sense what his thought process was. It didn't make a lot of sense at the beginning of the season, but I don't think the defense played well last year for him the first half. And
well, he was putting players not in position to succeed. He had Steve Nelson and Darius Slay, who are known for being man-to-man corners, being asked to play over 80% zone. You're not putting your players in the best position to succeed. So we'll see. Hopefully he has the pieces now. But Shawn, this was your position group. I kind of just jumped in there and stole it. But I want to hear more of your thoughts on it.
I mean, so what it's interesting that you touched on TJ Edwards, and the parallels with him versus Alex Singleton the years before. Mm-hmm. And I think we get caught up a lot of the times in stats when it comes to linebackers.
Yeah.
Right. So I think Alex Singleton's numbers looked impressive because teams were picking on him routinely. Oh, yeah. He was always trying to play catch up. Those tackles were always from behind. This guy's staring down ass and elbows the entire game.
But that's moron that posted on Twitter that Russell Westbrook is a greater player than Allen Iverson all time. If you look at numbers, you could say that if you look at pure numbers.
I think the kid that posted that was about 13. So I don't
a blue check mark.
They give those out to anybody.
Oh
nowadays.
Yeah, but no, it's a great point. You can look at stats and be like, man, that guy had a great season.
Right.
But if you watch the game,
right. So and the big difference is you saw TJ Edwards become a playmaker over those weeks.
Oh yeah.
Right. There was a vast difference in, even if the numbers looked somewhat familiar to Alex Singleton, what you saw on the field seemed like a polar opposite.
Yeah.
But that's also my reservation with Kaiser White.
Mm-hmm.
He's a young player with a ton of tackles that this team let go for a relatively team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
It screams more Alex Singleton and less TJ Edwards. So I'm certainly curious. There's plenty of people that
we haven't watched a ton of Chargers games.
I've watched
over the past
almost zero Chargers games. Now I've watched the tape of him, but that's a
spectacular in the
tape.
first round last year. You didn't watch a whole lot.
I watched the offensive highlights. I love the team, but I love how they play offense. There's plenty of people whose sports opinions I trust and actually, put stock into that say Kaiser White's been a pretty good playmaker that they wish stuck around. We'll see how
especially with the improvement he's made year to year.
Yeah.
I was looking at his stats today. Started a couple of games year one, most of the games year two, obviously all of them last year.
Yeah.
It was like, it was like 20 tackles, 60 tackles, 144 tackles. Like,
Yeah.
you're seeing steady improvement.
Right.
But again, we didn't watch Chargers defense highlights. Like, or not even highlights, because you can find great plays on any highlight. We didn't watch Chargers defense tape.
Right. No.
If there's any game we get less than the Chargers over here. For me, I don't think there's a team I've watched less than the Chargers.
Right.
I only watched them last year because I wanted to know what the hype was about Justin Herbert. I'm like,
Hey, well, my buddy's ex-girlfriend from 4 years ago logged into her dad's NFL Red Zone on my PlayStation once, and I already saved the pass. I've got every game every year because my buddy's ex-girlfriend from 3 or 4 years ago logged into her dad's Red Zone, and I set myself as a primary account holder. So if they ever change the password, I get an email. Well, I got Red Zone for free every year, so I have the opportunity to see a lot of Chargers games. But like Sean said, I watch the offense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I mean, and how the rest of that linebacking core is going to shake out. We've got a lot of speed at the position, right?
Sean Bradley, special teams ace,
Davion Taylor.
a lot of.
What Nakobe Dean is going to bring to this defense, or what he's not going to bring to the defense. How are these smaller, faster guys going to fare up? Now that there's 4 of them. There's a lot of them out there most of the time.
I think the benefit is that the rumors are we're transitioning to a 3-4.
Yeah.
So you can have a little bit lighter size in the linebacker core.
We need those interior or those down linemen to take up as many bodies as we can.
Yeah.
We drafted the personnel for it.
Yeah. Jordan Davis.
Right. Jordan Davis is
90 pounds of just man.
Yeah. He's taking up as many people as you could possibly take up. But so that's just, I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying that is definitely the most intriguing as to see the inner workings of how it's going to work.
Hands down. That was the position I had as well. And quickly, just touching on Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley, I did some research. So I got to get those out
tons
there.
of notes on Sean Bradley. There are tons of notes to be had on Sean Bradley, Davion Taylor.
Sean Bradley, look, he is what he is. He's not going to be in the battle. He is a special teams ace. He should have made the Pro Bowl last year as a special teams player. He was somewhere in the top 3 of special teams tackles. He only played 28 snaps on defense last year. Like, he's not making tackles on defense, not making plays on defense. It's a shame. I was pretty excited when he got him. I thought he was a late round steal. Hasn't really done much. I don't think he's really going to do much on this defense, especially with the additions around him. But his special teams ability probably will keep him on this team.
Yeah.
And then you touched on the name Davion Taylor. He is a player that the Eagles want to be good so bad. Picked 103rd overall in the 2020 draft, the 3rd round, obviously. Like, that's a pretty high value pick.
That's a guy that you should have that should be a starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second half of year 1,
right.
Should be a starter. And look, you're seeing some decent play out of him. Like last year, sure, he only played 9 games, but in those games, he was the second group linebacker. He played something like 45, 50% of I think around 45% of the snaps in all those games. He had 2 forced fumbles against the Broncos. Like, he was a solid tackler in a season that I specifically remember last year thinking most of the season, like, why are we never trying to strip the ball out? Like, you see the Ravens, especially, our team that is phenomenal at every tackle. They've got fists going for the ball. And, he was able to really kind of throw his helmet. I think the first one, he just kind of dove in, his head hit the ball. But regardless, I don't care how it happens.
Yeah.
But he's been injured every year.
Yeah.
Missed 8 games last season. They want him to be so good. They want him to develop. We're hoping that he can. Until he can prove he can stay on the field, I don't think he can really be in that conversation, because they're always going to have in the back of the mind, like, do I want this guy to be taking reps from somebody that is right around there with him, but I don't have to worry about is going to miss a serious amount of time. And then you said Nakobe Dean. I love the pick. Insane value there. We need to bolster our expectations. Not that I don't think he has the potential to be great, but why put so much pressure on this kid? Like, people are like, oh, he's automatically the best linebacker on the team. Like, look, am I extremely happy that he was the leader of the Dogs defense, Georgia Bulldogs, which was obviously the best defense in college football, and he was their captain? Like, that's great. I'm extremely excited about that. I think he has the potential to be a great player. Coming off of a pec injury, he claims since, I think, late April that he's been 100%. We'll see. I'm very excited. I think he has potential to be great. He's another undersized, very fast linebacker.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and give him the Twitter Jalen Hurts expectations where you're saying he's a top 5 quarterback or a top 5 linebacker with Nakobe Dean. Like, bolster your expectations. Come in with just 3rd round linebacker.
Treat him like a 3rd rounder, even though he's not.
He's a 3rd round pick, regardless of where he should have been taken or where he was mocked.
Just because you mocked him in the first,
it doesn't mean he needs to be the best linebacker in the class. Could he be? Possibly. If he is, phenomenal.
I would love it.
Yeah, I think his potential to be if he stays healthy, he could be in the league for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Bolster your expectations. Like, don't sit there and boo the guy out of the city if he's not phenomenal week 3.
Right.
I mean,
Brandon
exercise
Graham
the
wasn't
same patience
phenomenal
with you have
year
with,
3.
with Davion Taylor. I mean,
Exercise the same patience you have with Jalen Hurts. All these people on Twitter, like, there's still any Jalen Hurts bad game, it's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
Like, have that same kind of patience with every other player in the team.
So that
Because look, we're Jalen Hurts fans, especially as a player, as a dude, like as a guy.
Yeah,
Love the guy.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Jury's still out on him as a player. But Lee, Pam, we kind of hogged the mic there for a while. What's a position battle that you really are looking forward to seeing in the training camp and leading into the season?
Running back, probably.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I
Not
mean, that's
big.
second on my list. Yeah,
I'm popular, but I'm not big on Miles Sanders at all. I hope I'm
No,
wrong,
Miles
but
Sanders is the worst red zone running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
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 He's the worst running back on our team, too.
I don't know about
I'm kidding. I'm
that.
kidding. I'm joking.
5.3 yards per attempt. Like, I don't know about that. Have you seen Elijah Holyfield in preseason?
I'm excited to see him in like a complete offense this year, but like this year I need to like actually see him be like somebody that like we talk about the way we talk about Miles Sanders.
I really
And I'm like
couldn't
he's
care
like a
less
young
about
Shady
Miles
McCoy, and I'm like
I've never seen.
I'd rather have Jordan Howard. Last few years, I'm like, where's Jordan Howard? You know what I mean? It's like.
I mean,
so
I've also never seen such like a supposed star seem to disappear and not be missed so frequently.
Mhm.
You know,
That's a benefit of Outland in the offensive line.
yeah.
But
hey,
like running
contract
last
season.
year, he has like no touchdowns. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't get the ball enough. I'm like, we were literally the lead team in rushing last year. If you didn't get the ball enough, it's your fault.
No,
I don't know.
100%. No, and then like you had last year, I forget what game it was, but we were up either 1 or 2 possessions late in the game, and we were trying to run the clock out. Back-to-back runs, he breaks over 15 yards both times, goes out of bounds. Like,
Yeah.
That's another thing too. That's
like,
another part. You're just like
he makes dumbass decisions.
yeah.
He can't get an inch inside the red zone, like at all. You got Kenny Gainwell. That anytime it seems he's within 13 yards, he's fine in the end zone.
This
Seriously.
podcast is going to
That's the thing,
explode
like-
anytime Gainwell gets the ball.
Oh, we're big Kenny G, baby.
I know, and like we
Yeah.
love him too, and that's kind of like my thing. I'm like, when is he gonna just? When are we gonna realize like we're paying the wrong guy? You know what I mean? Like when's that gonna happen? I don't know.
No, and
I feel
look,
like
if
not
he
into
has any
that.
kind of solid stats and they know he's not a long-term fit here, you might see him gone at the trade deadline. Like, especially like you said,
Yeah.
with this being a plug-and-play running back group that everybody can pretty much succeed.
I mean, our quarterback can run better than him.
Well, our quarterback can run better than every quarterback outside of
totally
Lamar
everybody.
Jackson.
Right.
I know that's true. That is true. It's an unfair comparison, but still.
No, but he should be. If you're a running back, you should be the best runner on your team. It's not that
At least
unfair.
At least kind of. He's not. He hasn't been.
No,
That's
seriously.
fine.
Yeah, and that's another one I'm excited to see play out over the course of the year, because if Miles struggles, if Miles constantly dealing with injury issues, I think even when he does come back healthy, you're going to see his productivity dip like quite a bit. You know,
Productivity or volume?
I'm sorry, volume, productivity, the whole lot.
Yeah.
But yes, in this case, volume. You know, I really don't see them sticking with him over the course of the entire season.
No.
If he's struggling the same way he has in years past. I mean, this team's
Why? If they know he's not going to be a long-term fit here, and he's not playing all that great.
they're
Why?
also going to see that the team does not suffer
No.
in his absence.
No, he
know.
missed a ton of games last year. We were the number 1 rushing team in the NFL.
Exactly.
Obviously, like you touched on,
Exactly.
Lee, that's a result of Jalen Hurts' legs just as much as the running backs, because those rushing yards count just like all the other ones. But we don't hurt in his absence. In the red zone, we do a lot better
We
in his
thrive.
absence. We have
Well,
no
yeah,
reason
exactly.
to risk giving him the ball and having him like something that we haven't touched on a lot is he had a fumbling problem too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you were
exactly.
worried every time he was in the red zone that it would just kill a drive, especially when Jake Elliott, best kicker in the National Football League,
Sure is.
That's a talking 2-5 staple.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
He sure is.
you get him over the 50, and you got 3 points guaranteed right there.
Yeah.
And then you got guys just fumbling the ball. Come on.
And he always does it more than once a game, I feel like, too. It's
Yeah,
always-
he has one game, and you know it's happened to multiple times.
Yeah, you're
absolutely.
like,
Get rid of this guy.
His leash is shorter than it's ever been. You know,
Yeah.
this guy's
I'm
going to
glad
come
to
up
hear
with a strange rib injury, and he's going to be out for 7 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Something like that's going to happen where it doesn't seem that serious, and you just notice, after 2 months that Miles Sanders has fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they're like, wait,
Right.
where is this guy? Where's
And also,
Booby
Jordan
Miles?
Howard's
Yeah.
a household name again. You're like, oh, Jordan Howard's back in the league. Okay.
Now, I'm waiting for them to announce that they've signed Jordan Howard
Let's
again.
go,
I'm
Jordan
waiting for
Howard.
I'm waiting for that
Yes.
announcement.
Have
You're
they? I don't
telling
even know. I
everybody.
just assume it's
But-
going to happen eventually because they keep doing it randomly. I
No,
think he's
exactly.
gone and then he's back.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
He's great, though.
Yeah, Miles is going to injure the smallest body part possible. Just have a little, maybe muscle soreness, and they're going to be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
buddy, we're going to sideline you, and we're pulling Howard back in."
Well, Brandon Katz here, checking in on the YouTube, says Philly's roster is good, but Hurts is trash. He can't read defenses. I can understand why you would have that take.
Yeah.
Because
Is he trash? No. Like, am I the biggest Hurts fan as a player? No, not yet. I'm certainly not like already given up on him. I'm not saying he's trash. He can't read defenses.
Yeah.
Does he struggle at times? Yes. Like he needs to improve on that.
I think it's less an issue of him reading defenses and more of an issue of not knowing where his reads are.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't
Or
know
even
the
being
offense.
a little gun shy.
I don't think he knows the offense more so than he doesn't know how to read a defense.
Yeah. So this year, no excuses.
No.
Yeah. You've
There's
been
none.
full season last year, full off season, added new weapons that you were obviously extremely comfortable and familiar with his best friend,
Yeah,
AJ
best
Brown,
friend.
being on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the same scheme 2 years in a row since high school, and I
That's a
put
great point, Lee.
stock in that. I really do. I think like not reading defense, it's not being comfortable where your offense is and stuff. You don't even know your offense. It's the first year he's going to know his offense since high school. I feel like the second time around.
Yeah. No, Jason
If he
Kelsey
doesn't
touched
make
on
it,
it.
that's on him. But I'm excited to see what he can do with it.
No,
And
Jason
the-
Kelsey touched on it, and he was like, look, we're in our little OTAs earlier. He was like, we were already going over stuff that we weren't really even touching until the second half of last season, like, and stuff that we were pretty comfortable with. So, and as far as offense goes, like most of the new additions seem to be on defense. Like AJ Brown's new,
Right.
but you don't have to worry about getting a ton of
Right,
new
yeah,
guys
yeah.
up to speed. And the guys we added on offense, like AJ Brown, I have him as a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. People that have him outside of that, like, I think that's ridiculous. He was putting up those numbers with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback, who
Right,
is a fine
exactly.
quarterback.
I
He's
don't
not a
know.
gunslinger.
He's
He's
I mean,
serviceable.
do you think Tannehill's a better quarterback right now than Jalen Hurts?
As a passer of the ball, purely
as a passer.
as a passer, they're very close.
I think they're very
I
similar.
think they're very
I think
similar
they're
as a
very
passer.
similar. I think they're very similar just altogether.
And you're seeing him put those stats up where Ryan Tannehill isn't throwing the ball 50 times a game. Like you have Derrick Henry there getting 35 touches a
Right.
game. So you
Yes.
could see very similar production with AJ Brown in Philadelphia.
Right.
Like the over under, I believe, is 77 catches for 1,025 yards. I feel like it's a little low. I know we haven't had
only 'cause
I know we
he's on
haven't
the
had
Eagles.
1,000 year. Oh yeah. I know we haven't had 1,000-yard receiver since
Yeah.
what?
Since Macklin.
Yeah,
in
Macklin.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
was like, did Alshon get 1,000 in 2017?
no,
No.
no. Injuries kept
He was
him out
close.
of that. Yeah. And then obviously
Rotator cuff.
he's getting guys agreeing with him. I hope he wasn't. Maybe he was agreeing with his other take. No, he was kind of Brandon. You're kind of touching on what we were just saying, like Gainwell. I
Yeah.
really like Gainwell.
I love him.
Yeah, Sanders is good, like you said, but he'll never get enough carries in the Sirianni system for Philly to re-sign him. Exactly. Why would you pay for a star running back when you already know you can put anybody in there and they'll succeed?
Or
I could get 4 yards in
or
that
you're
offense.
going to find that they sign him
Behind
in the middle of the
Milano.
season for $3 million a year.
Yeah, if he's willing to take something crazy,
Yeah.
well, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's
Because you know Howie is going to lowball the hell out of him. It's not even a lowball, but if he's going to stay on this team, it's going to be on a very team-friendly deal.
as it should be.
And then GV checks in and says, if Hurts' first option is covered, he is automatically running.
We're going to find out.
yeah, we
will
are
find
gonna
out. He certainly needs to go through his progressions a lot better.
He's got 2 options. He's got 3 options.
Yeah,
on
you have
any
3
single
great
play.
options. You got 3, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert. 3 phenomenal options. And then you have set plays, obviously, to the guy that you were really excited about, and Quez Watkins.
Yes.
matchup nightmare.
Deep
Yeah.
That was
yard.
He's 24 and his third year. That's
Yeah,
24.
and I touched on my big thing with him is I think he is built to be a wide receiver 3, and I think he struggled last year because he was expected to be a wide receiver 2. He's not a wide receiver 2.
Oh, I like Quez a lot. I was talking about Jalen, but I like
I'm sorry.
a lot. Or wait, I like Quez a lot.
No,
I was saying Jalen's only 24 and it's like third year. Like, yeah, like he's a lot to learn still. His brain is still
It's his third year. I thought everybody said he was a rookie last year.
They certainly like to put his stats next to all the rookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Going up against Lamar Jackson. Just kidding.
No, I think they touch on things that everybody's nervous about. I mean, and the people that aren't, they're just not being serious with them. Like you are worried about his read progression ability. You are worried about his ability to be willing to pull the trigger on a down that we need him to throw the ball.
Right.
Like last year for a big part of the season, I called him, Jalen roll out to the right hurts because that's what he did.
Yeah.
And once defenses wanted to put that spy over on the right side, you saw him struggle a little bit.
I mean, Tampa did it to perfection in the playoffs. Yeah.
They gave the NFL.
They made us look like high school kids, and I felt like we weren't playing the same game.
Right. I mean, that's going to happen every single game for the first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season.
Yes,
and until if he hasn't figured out how to mitigate
But here's
that,
the thing: if he has figured it out, this offense will be insane because they're going to be doing that. That pulls one extra backfield defender into the spy zone to the right side. If he has even a 25% improvement in his passing, he will be able to tear defenses apart. And we have a pretty favorable start to the season. Detroit, obviously not going to be as bad as last year. I don't think so. I like Dan Campbell. I think he's a great coach. Have them week 1. A lot of people are calling it a trap game. I don't think so. I think there
are no week 1 trap games.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that. Like, how do you
we're not fired up to play
exactly. But then you're facing Kirk Cousins and the Vikings week 2, new head coach. Might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Still a lot of things to figure out that early in the season. Yeah. So I like that we're facing them early because I do think that they could be finding their stride later in the season.
Sure.
And then week 3, I'll have to look it up. I had it right there. It's in my notes here. But I know week 3 isn't something I was too terribly scared of either.
Yeah.
So we could get off to a hot start, especially if he has made any improvement in his passing game.
Yeah. I mean, if you talk about bringing a linebacker or a safety down to spy on him, I mean, what does that open up? I mean, there's going to be multiple wideouts that are
single coverage.
Yeah. Right. You're talking, Dallas Goedert, you're talking about Wes Watkins. Somebody's open. Somebody will be open. If he can find out that guy, it's going to be lights out.
And it'd be a perfect practice game week 1. You put up, you get a 3-possession lead early, and then you say, you know what, turnover's a turnover. Like it's the second half, we're up 28. Let's go ahead and try. Like, no, you're not allowed to run it. Like you have to work on these things. Like
you get 0 rushing yards.
No, and Brandon checked in again with a great point. Like Detroit's front 7 is probably in the bottom 3 of the NFL. Like we should be able to run all over them. But maybe we don't. Maybe we choose not to.
That's how we get up 28-0.
Exactly. And then maybe we tone it back and really work on airing it out.
Yeah.
Brandon, I love the interaction, man. You got to tune into any of our live shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pam, I want to know, not Lee and Pam specifically. I want to know your thoughts. I'm hearing a lot out of Lee. I need some Pam in my life. Pammy. Jalen Hurts, year 3, not year 2, year 3. What are you thinking?
I love him actually. I hear the complaints. My brother actually did GV. That was my brother that commented, bitching about.
Welcome to the chat, GV.
So I have to hear it all the time from him. But I think I'm just excited to see what he does. A
lot of excitement around this team.
Yeah.
He does everything he can to get better. I think everyone can agree that, we love him as a guy. We love him as his work ethic and everything. But yeah, this is the year he has to either show up or we're going to be looking for another quarterback.
Yeah, especially with the draft capital we have heading into what a lot of people say is going to be a very quarterback, healthy draft.
Yeah.
If he doesn't show it this year, they're going to move on.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yeah. With the weapons we have, you can't afford to sit back with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins.
It's your best friend.
I'm really
this is the year.
in this
Right.
offensive line. Like
And
you gotta.
Yeah, and if you can't do it, somebody else will.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
love his intangibles. I think he is so dreamy. But
Yes, he is.
He really
He is.
is.
He looks like Damon Wayne Jr. If you ever look
Yeah.
like Damon Wayne Jr., looks just like him.
you know, but it's if he can't do it this year, he's not going to do it ever.
No,
Right.
No.
exactly. So like, we're all pretty excited about him. Obviously, want to touch real quick. Jesse Bates, safety out of Cincinnati. A lot of people are like, "Oh, we need to trade for him and all." I'd be a little surprised. I'm sure you've heard other people talk about it and all. There's a lot of difficulties with trading for him because they instituted a new rule. I don't know when. It was somewhat recent. I don't think this is the first year, but after I think it was July 15th, you could not extend him. If you were to trade for him, you would have to have him on the franchise tag, which means you couldn't extend him until he was a free agent the following season. So, and he's a guy that's probably going to warrant at least a second round pick to trade for.
Right.
So do you really want to trade a second round pick for a guy that has the option to go absolutely anywhere he wants? Like you can't give him a mid-year extension. You can't give him extension until he is completely season's over, free agency opens. Like
Yeah.
I think that's way too big of a risk.
Does
he promise to take a pay cut?
I think he promised,
he can't.
guys.
Yeah,
No.
he can't. Like he is locked in already to no matter what team he plays for, no matter what, unless they cut him, which they won't do.
Yeah.
He has to play under the franchise tag this season before any team can extend him, and you can't risk
what
him
an awful
verbally
rule.
agreeing.
Yeah, what an absolutely awful role to instate. Because I mean, the feeling was a second. I swap him for a second any day,
Oh, yeah.
assuming
26-year-old great safety.
right. Assuming you have enough cap room to sign him, and a second round pick is for a proven safety in his prime. It, to me, is a no brainer. But if it is totally up to him and he's got exactly one season, I mean, you've got 1 year to wow this guy. And then you have to worry about the cap implications from years on
Yeah.
it. Do you have that space?
Yeah, and Brandon again in the comments, Howie doesn't pay safety. Like
Yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins was the last, paid safety. Like it's not a position he extremely values. So at least he doesn't take them early in drafts. That's for sure. He gives middle of the road contracts to
Right.
safeties.
He definitely likes the plug and play, the second tier free agents.
Yeah. Jaquiski Tart,
Jaquiski Tart. Yeah.
bottom 5 NFL name.
But
That's amazing.
would I take him? Yes. I would also be very surprised if we ended up picking him up.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense for him to be on this team and for Howie to ask
Yeah.
around.
Oh, that would be like
you
the
know?
missing piece to finalize this whole team.
Then it would
Super Bowl
really be a
bust.
dream team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Chiba All-Stars.
Yeah.
But it's funny, we mentioned bottom 5 names. So why don't we just take that right into top 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Top 5.
All
Top 5,
right.
ladies and gentlemen. Top 5 this week. Top 5 yard games. I noticed we're already a little bit late in the show, and we usually take about 20 minutes for a top 5 segment. So we'll kind of rifle through them, a little bit quicker. Obviously, Liam, Pam, you're welcome to do separate ones. We don't want to just jumble you guys into the same one unless you guys agreed on everything. But
Yeah, we wrote a few down that we all agreed on.
there you go. All right. Well, why don't you start us off with your number 5 yard game? And we're talking like cornhole, badminton, volleyball, like that's kind of yard.
Say 3-legged race.
Number 5, 3-legged race.
Whoa.
That relies on friends.
I haven't done a 3-legged race since I was 8. Oh my goodness.
But were they fun?
I was damn good.
Oh, I'm
Line
sure.
them up. I couldn't
Did
be
you
your
just pick
partner.
the other guy up with you?
I was
and
lit-
then you just ran.
I just found the closest guy in size and hauled ass. Let's go.
I feel like you
Right.
just picked up the other guy and you just ran. It was just a 2-legged race with the guy that you were holding.
Tied the smallest kid to my leg and ran.
I like that. 3-legged race. Sean, number 5.
Number 5, the game that I can play best while absolutely shit-faced, the ladder toss. That's it's
ladder
not.
golf.
That's the one with
Redneck golf,
the
some call it.
Yes.
2 balls on that string.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Very little skill, fun for the whole family. I don't have to worry about whose hips are closest in height to mine.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about friends, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Play nice.
kudos
Oh, yeah,
points
that's
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
number
we got
5
it.
for me, Can Jam. Yeah, like a game that involves a frisbee. Some people are really anti-frisbee. I enjoy a frisbee. I can tell you don't know can jam.
I got rough wrists. My wrists don't work that well, so the frisbee is a little. It's not my forte.
You don't have a
Can
little
jam,
play.
solid game.
Little
I
flicky.
like it. I like a can jam.
Okay.
It brings out my strong frisbee throwing. I feel like I'm above average frisbee.
Good
thrower.
frisbee. Yeah, big
Yeah.
frisbee guy.
Yeah, I used
Okay.
to do a little ultimate. You know, I was
look
one of
like a
those guys.
frisbee.
Yeah,
You do.
yeah. I
Can
felt
jam's
like
the
it.
one that goes like in the trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like
Yeah.
far away. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'll take number 4, and that's going to be badminton.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a little net set up. You get the shuttlecock out.
Yes.
A couple
Watch
of
your mouth.
rackets. Hey,
Right on the-
badminton, fun game, a lot of fun. I remember 7th grade badminton tournament in the gym. Your boy took the win.
Win, and it's only number 4 on your list.
Yeah, yeah. I was
That's
partnered
usually
with my good friend Akembe Mutombo.
Akembe. All right. Any
It
relation?
wasn't no,
No. No.
no. We just called him that because he was really good.
No
His
relation.
I forget his name, but we call him that. 'cause
9 years old, 7 foot tall African kid.
Hey,
He always says no.
yeah.
All right, my number 4 in my quest to be land the hottest 79-year-old retiree, shuffleboard.
No, that's a good one.
Yes. And show her the move, show how well those hips work.
hmm
Yeah.
I have another the little rod has a cool name to that too. I can't think of it.
I don't know what it
But
is.
Yeah,
it's,
the
not
one
like, it's not like the pushing stick. It's something.
No, it's-
something cool.
It's called something special. And it's like in the shape of it too. It's like I don't know.
If
And
it was
you're right.
number
I feel like it
1,
should
I
be the-
might know.
I feel like it should be the trident.
Yeah.
yeah.
Lee and Pam, number 4.
God. God.
Where do we put? Good old fashioned horseshoes.
Horseshoes.
Horseshoe is a good game. It's tough. I feel like there's some people that are really good at it,
Yeah.
and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
That's much.
Yeah.
They
Just-
have like some special way of throwing it, like getting a ringer. Like
I don't know.
Tough.
That's definitely, my first memories of getting my ass handed to me by like my 80-year-old aunts and
Mhm.
uncles. Horseshoes.
you just hear that metal on metal clang. And
Yeah.
you're just trying to find the sand pit.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Good
No, I
list.
had,
They're
I had
2
a
for
horse.
2.
Yeah, I had a horseshoe pit at my old single wide in Millsboro. Bought 2 stakes, bought 2 pieces of rebar. Nailed them into the ground. Had some
Awesome.
horseshoes. All right, go ahead with number 3, Lee and Pam.
Where do we put?
Let's go Dizzy Bat. Did you ever play Dizzy,
Dizzy
Bat?
bet.
Dizzy bat.
Dizzy
Should I
bat,
do that
like a
before?
dizzy bat race.
Is that
Yeah, you put.
For number 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, put it for 3 because
I think that's
Wow.
great just because watching other people do it.
Yeah,
America's
I've literally
Funniest
done one.
Home Videos classic?
so good.
Dizzy
Oh,
bat.
yeah.
So good.
Love it.
I feel like a dizzy bat
like a
and then a
drinking-
pinata together.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
combine
feel like
like
that's
drinking
fun.
yard games.
Yeah, dizzy bat pinata, that'd be a party.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
good.
Our views also dramatically increased when we started top 5. People were
They know
like,
it.
we need to know
They know it.
top 5 yard games.
All right. My number 3, Giant Jenga.
Oh, it's a good game.
That's
The
a good
massive
That's a good
Jenga blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing quite as fear-inducing as an adult as playing a heated game of Jenga with just the most massive blocks that you can possibly find.
Yeah, you're over at Constitution Yards just
Yeah.
drinking a beer.
Right.
You hear it across the ring. Everybody like turns their head. 'cause
Yeah,
you
yeah.
a bunch
yeah.
of pieces of
You're
2x4
gonna
just
Right.
smacking the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
timber.
It's just loud. Number 3 for me, game I had always wanted to play it, but I didn't have the friend groups play it. My little brother is very good at it and got me into it. Spike ball.
Spike ball.
Spike ball. If you don't know spike ball, it's like
I never had enough friends for spike ball.
it's like upside down volleyball.
Yeah.
You hit it
You like-
down into the net. It's very difficult, gets the heart rate up, but it's fun, very fun. Spike ball. So I guess I'll take number 2. Number
Yes.
2. This is also a game that if I want to impress an older lady,
Mm.
bocce ball.
Oh yeah.
I love playing bocce ball. You
Bocce
throw
ball's
the little ball out there and you see how close you can get to it. Bocce ball. My sister and her fiance just purchased a home that has a great side yard that we're trying to convince them to turn into a bocce ball.
Of all the activities, it's a
Yeah.
Perfect
bocce
for it. No, but
ball
it's like
yard.
perfect.
It was a
Bocce-
perfect bocce ball yard.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like
I'll post it. I'm going to help them move in on Saturday. I'll take a picture. Post it
Okay.
on Sean, number 2.
Number 2, my favorite game if I'm trying to impress an entire bachelorette party. Cornhole.
For those that don't know, we did impress an entire bachelorette party playing cornhole at a Phillies game. Hooked us up with some free hoagies.
Yes.
And
Wow, bachelorette party, like just
oh, it was perfect. We
We were not originally invited to the bachelorette
no,
party.
they parked right
No.
next to us, and we invited ourselves.
and they had a hoagie tray.
Yeah, they had Wawa cater their bachelorette party. It was great.
I probably had about 4 too-minute cookies of theirs.
Oh
some
yeah, they had a whole
hoagies.
cookie tray,
Yes.
hoagies. Yeah.
Yeah, quality game. I don't love when people go a little too hard. I think this is one people tend to make their entire
I'm always-
competitive.
I'm always going to try my best, but I'm not going to like
Yes.
sit there and like.
Some people get a little too competitive. I like a good, nice, slightly competitive, but not too competitive game of cornhole. Number 2.
Yeah,
Number 2.
I agree. No more
And
love.
Pam, number 2.
We have what, badminton?
No, it's already said. Flip
Oh,
cup.
that's-
You can say if you can repeat
Yeah.
Yeah.
badminton.
Yeah, yes, I said flip cup, but yeah.
I like that. It's
Okay.
a fun game played in the yard, and it involves alcohol. I mean,
It's a
all
lot
of these
easier in
games
the yard.
you should
Yeah,
be drinking
that's-
while you play them.
Alcohol
like
is
alcohol.
assumed here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, flip cups is solid. Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Solid
flip,
game.
you're right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Very fun game. Does lose points to me because I don't have enough friends to play it.
Yeah, that's like a 8 friend. That's like a 7-friend game.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be in a
Which is
yard.
like 4 more than I have.
Yeah,
Fair.
I'm with you on there. It's like
Fair.
6 more. I
Yeah.
got you. Joey lives in Jacksonville.
Oh,
Our
Yeah, I
bad-
can't play virtual flip cup.
no.
Sure, there's an app.
There's a lag.
The latency is terrible.
Yeah.
The ping.
The ping is 1,000.
Yeah. All right, number 1, Lee and Pam, take it away.
Oh,
We did put cornhole for one.
That's a
Cornhole.
solid
I mean-
answer. Cornhole, I feel like is you're going to hear that again here
yeah,
shortly.
backups, but
Solid,
Yeah.
That
solid
is
yard
best.
game.
Let's be real.
Quality entry. I just think people get a little too competitive. It takes some of the fun away from me.
Yeah,
Unless
but
I
then when
love,
you beat the guy or girl that's very competitive,
in-
and you're just like, wow, I wasn't even trying.
unless I love
Yeah, I
being
just showed up.
competitive.
I never played this before.
Sorry about
Yeah,
it.
I had that happen. Sean, number 1.
Yes. A game that I do really enjoy being competitive in. I actually have as my number 1 badminton.
Eh,
Absolutely tops. Yeah, get a
Badminton?
good- badminton. Badminton.
Classic.
That game
yeah, with the shuttlecock.
with the shuttlecock, with the little
Yeah.
halfway tennis rackets.
Yeah,
I'm a big
I
tennis
feel like it's
guy.
badminton.
Badminton.
Yeah,
Am I-
badminton.
Am I,
I like
am I
that,
saying
though.
the T a little too hard?
You had like a G in the middle.
It's not
Badminton.
important. You know what game I'm talking
Yeah,
about, guys.
I didn't know. I was like, is this like a hybrid?
Anything I can do a nice, strong left backhand.
You give it that Maria Sharapova.
No, it's more of a manly testosterone filled.
Yeah,
All you hear though.
I feel like that throws him too.
Yeah, it establishes yourself as the alpha
The alpha.
of the yard
Yeah.
gamers.
Exactly.
Yes. And you
Well,
hit
for
the
me,
target,
I'm
you
taking
know.
Lee and Pam's. Number 1 for me is cornhole.
Cornhole.
You know, got some nice boards, but for me, the other than the competitiveness, the biggest thing that makes the game is the bags. You get the wrong bags, you're in for a rough day. Like I've played
Makes all
once
the
with one of
difference.
those professional bags. I don't pay them $100 for those bags. Somebody did. And I played with
No
them
balance,
once.
no
They're
balance
nice.
whatsoever.
They're real nice.
mean-
They got the slide side and the stick side.
Okay.
So
What makes a good bag is they're like. what's the
well,
bag?
for me, a good bag is not like the real beans in it. I
Yeah.
feel like those are too hard. Like it's more of like the sand.
The weight
Yeah.
distribution.
Yeah, weight
has to be
Yeah, I know
with
what you're
it,
saying.
the
It's
friction on
lands.
both sides.
Yeah, the
right?
like the pro bags, they have like a slide side and a stick side. Like one side, it's wild.
You want it to land and stay where it's going to be.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the different art they can put on the boards. That's
Uh-huh.
fun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a great game. Great game. Well,
Wonderful.
that's top 5 right there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Top 5. Well, yeah, we kind of saved the Sixers for the last because like, there's probably the least amount to talk.
Sure.
And obviously we're running pretty long, so we'll touch on it real quick. I know we still want to hear plenty about the Philly shirt shop. But Lee and Pam, I want to know your thoughts on the Sixers offseason What do you think really about Harden? His deal now, it's seeming to be official of 3 years, about $70 million. I think he's getting 2 years, about $70 million. I think he's getting more in the second year than the first. I think he's taking a bit of a more, more serious pay cut. But it's funny. I was thinking about this when you were mentioning Glenn Rivers and how he was very similar to Joe Girardi and his catering to the older players. Well, that will do great this year because our team is old as shit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, old ass PJ Tucker out there.
I know.
James Harden. Joel Embiid's now up there in age.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
know. It's
Tobias Harris is certainly not young. We got
the average age on our
Not
team has to be
right now.
32.
I know. We have
seriously,
Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey is still what, 21, 22?
I know.
Yeah,
He like
yeah.
brings the
He's
meat.
bringing down our average a full 3 years.
He really does that.
Yeah.
Yes, like Ben did that.
Yeah, I mean, if we still had Danny Green, we'd be 40.
I was, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, well, at least we traded away Danny Green.
Yeah, seriously.
It's fine.
But he was expected.
Yeah.
Bring that championship mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Harden deal is no surprise. I mean, he's going to be taking a pretty stiff pay cut in the first year. I don't have the details out in front of me, and then a player option for the second year is what
Yeah,
most people
and
are
it
speculating.
most likely gonna take it.
Yeah,
He's getting paid more the second year.
I think this deal has more to do with him proving that he's still worth this amount of money. I don't think he had much of an option here.
Yeah.
If he wanted a multiple year deal, he was going to get paid for what he provided last season, which was underwhelming.
But the big thing is, for me, he could have made $47 million.
Yes.
He opted out of that deal. Regardless of how you feel as him with a player, if he should be on the team, if we think it's a waste of money, he could have very easily said, "Through you guys, I'm getting my bag. Pay me $47 million." But he didn't.
Right.
He's getting paid around 30 something year one, and then probably just under 40 year two. And that's a player option that he'll most likely, I would imagine, opt into.
Yeah. You think the front office would have said, hey, if you take that $48 million 1 year deal, there's no chance that we stick around with you any
I
further?
mean,
than
him and
next
Daryl
year?
Morey are extremely tight. Maybe.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe. I feel like it was talked about before he even came to the Sixers.
Yeah.
He did say it like once he got here. Like,
Yeah.
think
And
they
I mean,
get back to
there's
it,
also the
probably.
reports of tampering with the previous partial owner, and there's some rumor that he's like brought James Harden in as like a advisor or something to one of his companies, and they think there's like shady backroom dealings that were like, you get paid less, but we're gonna pay you this with the Fanatics or something. Like he
Right.
owns like
Oh,
something.
I see.
Yeah,
The guy that didn't he just sell his share or something? What is his face?
Yeah, he's no
Yeah.
longer
I'm
an
happy
owner of the
that he's
team,
no
but he just had a
longer-
party where Joel,
Yeah,
Harden,
Roll down,
Maxey,
and
like,
everybody else.
PJ Tucker all went to, and apparently
Robert
the NBA is
Kraft or
investigating
whoever.
that there was some kind of, I don't care, do it.
Harden sweet jersey deal he just got, right? Yeah.
My big thing is with that report that I think it was Yahoo Sports where Harden said, go ahead, get all the other pieces, pay me whatever's left. Why didn't you go out and fill the team and give him the league minimum?
Right.
If that was really
I
his attitude.
mean, I thought the same kind of thing. I did. I was like, oh,
No, you knew he was still getting around 30 million
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah.
But that's great. It's 17 million less than he would
Yeah,
and he
that's
could have
huge.
made, which is huge. That's how we got PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
And that's about the only free agent that's worth talking about because the other
so
guys.
far, at least.
Now,
yeah.
the question is, do you see Harden being better this season with another year with the Sixers than last season? Because last season he was clearly out of shape.
Cautiously optimistic.
There's right, because there's certainly reason to believe that he'd be a lot more familiar with the team. He's a mid-season addition.
4
so-
seasons of him coming into the season out of shape.
Yeah. But this is a habitual offender. The guy apparently doesn't do enough damn cardio during the
Yeah.
off season.
Right.
And he's
Yeah,
claiming
that's
this is the off season. This is the one that's getting him back in shape. He's ready to come into the season like he's never before. I think it was the afternoon show on WIP. I forget who it was, but I think it was John Marks said it great. He was like, PJ Tucker is still getting paid, only 10 million a year, but only. But at 5 years older than James Harden,
Yeah.
because PJ Tucker is wringing everything he can out of his body.
Yep.
Like he is staying in tip-top shape
Sure.
and still playing at a level where he can get a 10 million a year deal, a 3-year, $10 million a year deal that'll take him into his year 40.
Right.
And that's why I think there may have been some merit to them saying, listen, if you take this player option, we will not re-sign you.
I wanted him back. I'm glad it was only 2 because the early reports were at minimum a 3-year.
Yeah.
I'm certain it was too. But I also was like the second option outside of a 1 or 2-year deal that I was like fine with was not signing him at all.
Walking away.
Yeah, just saying, you know what, we tried, appreciate it, best of luck. Because
play your way.
you know what,
And
didn't
then
work out.
And then you've got Harden having to go to a team that's not run by Daryl Morey, right? Up to command exactly how much money he's worth after the last season, which was not anything close to a max deal.
Yeah.
No.
Like he showed flashes. And I'm hoping that those flashes
Did.
are much more consistent.
Did.
His first week or 2 with the Sixers, my goodness, did we not all say we're winning the chip?
Yeah, I was like, I thought Ben was good. And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's a point guard. Oh my God, that's what a point guard looks like. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, it just.
Well, she thought Ben was good. Good show, everybody. We're going to. Ben sucks. Screw that guy. No, but like, I haven't seen ball movement like that since the Tim Duncan Spurs.
Right. It
Like
was
they were
fun.
moving the ball around like it was hot potato.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
it was
so fun to
incredible.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 2 weeks,
Yeah.
it was incredible. Well, Lee and Pam, I know it at least seeming when you follow on Twitter that probably what are the Sixers like your number one team to tweet about and talk about, or at least it seemed the season that you guys always had some phenomenal tweets. So I really was looking forward to hearing you guys touch on Harden and the Sixers as a whole.
I think that's definitely where we found it this year.
Yeah, certainly your girl Kate Scott loves you guys.
Yeah.
What a gift. She's
I
a
mean,
gift.
she's been awesome. She's been like,
She really stepped in great. Like you can't fill Zoom off shoes, nobody can. But she stepped in and did a great job.
I was expecting for her to have a lot more or face a lot more of a learning curve over the course of that season. And I felt, she seemed like she was right at home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, George Niang.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I felt like that too. She like almost I felt like she read like the Bryce Harper like Philadelphia PR book or something. Like just like this is how you go about making Philadelphia like you.
No, that's
See
perfect.
these things in this way and like and like have this much pride and like hometown pride and stuff like that. And she just seems to do it all. And I totally fall for it. I'm like, she's the best. She gets us.
she's really like, she's genuinely like such a nice person too.
Yeah,
From what
she's so
what
nice.
we like interact through social media, and she's genuinely like everything that she presents, and we're super lucky to have her. I mean,
no doubt.
she's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame probably one day. I mean, trailblazer for sure. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been like the Sixers season, I guess we were like, probably tweeting the most about that.
I mean, it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, with everything going on, like the big James Harden, deal and everything. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, every year I get roped back in with the Sixers. Like,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't matter like what they do.
Shit,
Like,
here we go again.
as long as
Here
we
we
have
go
Embiid,
again.
I'm like, who knows?
You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know much about Melton. Is that who Melton?
Yeah, he's a solid. He's automatically our best bench player. Automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, he makes the bench substantially better. Developed a decent 3-point shot. He averaged like 5 almost 5.5 3-point attempts a game. About 34% shooting from 3. The big thing is when Morant was out, they won a lot of the games that he was a starter in. Like he filled that role very well. He'll get you 10, 5, and 5 typically.
Yeah,
which is great.
He's certainly addressing a need that this team showed it really was struggling with, and that was bench help throughout the rest of the season.
That is like,
100%.
he's got like that like fire to it. I feel like it seems like that.
Well, and he's got
We'll
he's
Yeah.
got some
like
highlight level dunks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He throws it down. And I haven't watched a whole lot of his tape or anything.
Right.
But looking at a lot of the stats and a lot of the projections, they think he's steal per 20. That he's actually a pretty solid, well above average defender, which you never mad at. Like having a guy that excels at both sides of the ball is huge.
Yeah.
Especially on taking obviously the easiest person to compare him to is the guy we traded for him with Danny Green and his absolute deciding whether or not he wants to show up on the back end of the court or not. It's great to have somebody that at least on paper and people are reporting. Shane jumps in. Terrible defender. Is that are we talking Danny Green or the new kid? New kid on the block.
We're gonna find out. I mean, one way to endear yourself to this fan base is to play your ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, and you see what we all felt about Danny Green by the end of his tenure.
Yeah.
Right. And really anybody else that doesn't show up on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna find out.
It could be a quick way that James Harden loses the love of the city if he doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't show up
if he doesn't
and
show
play
up in
defense.
shape, that's the one thing you can control.
Yeah.
Is your conditioning.
I
Go
agree.
outside and run right now. What are you doing?
You hear Leonard
Yeah.
Fournette.
Yeah,
So,
like Embiid
65.
figured it out already. Embiid, like,
Oh.
I feel
Oh
like
yeah, he's
he
playing
went down to
tennis.
the
He's
same path and
dancing at weddings. He's
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 in
running around the
unbelievable
city.
shape.
He-
It's crazy.
He just loves life.
He does. He
He's living
does.
his best life.
Oh, he's the
Amen.
best. He's the best.
Amen. Well, obviously, as the off season ramps up and summer league comes to an end, and they start into the very short preseason and all, we'll talk a lot more Sixers and with any other moves and all. Obviously, with this deal with Harden now appearing to be official, I'll have to look at the numbers, but I don't think we have much move to make any kind of other free agent signings left. Maybe a league minimum guy like bring Dwight Howard back or something. But I think we still badly need an outside shot, like a really solid outside shot.
Another Seth back.
We'll see, but no, we'll talk plenty of Sixers. But I wanted to really give you all the floor to talk about Philly Shirt Shop. Tell people where they can find it, what you're doing, what kind of apparel. Because I mean, obviously, I've encouraged everybody to go to phillyshirtshop.com because you guys have some really clever shirts. Obviously, we made the My Lotta House of Pancake shirt, but I just made that with a Cricut and some iron-on vinyl. And
I
you
saw
guys,
that. I was like, those are really cute.
We gotta
oh yeah.
That was
I
one of the
definitely like
breakdowns.
mine, but your guys' production value is certainly next level, and the creativity is right there as well. So I kind of wanted to open the floor up to you all to talk about the company, talk about the business, and let everybody know where they can go to get some of that top tier apparel.
Nice.
Thank you. Well, right now we're just like based online, so phillyshirtshop.com. And we have like an online shop where it's like mainly Philly themed apparel and stuff like that. But we also do custom printing for like schools or businesses, like charities, stuff like that. And we're looking to do some shows too. Like we're gonna post like on social media when we're like gonna actually do shows, but we're looking at like end of the summer, fall type stuff. So we would love to like get the people out and like meet people face to face, because being an online shop, we don't get to do it that much. So that's another reason why we really appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah, totally.
So
No doubt. No, and I know we were kind of talking like we're with Sean now being on the team and him being local with me and all. We're talking about getting the live shows back up again.
Yeah,
Talking to a number of different bars. I know we had a good
that'd be
time.
awesome.
Yeah, that would be
with
cool.
with some bars and all, and talking with you, like if we get those live show up and all, like having you all come along, hop on the pod for a little bit, and having a booth set up or something, selling
That'd be great.
selling
Yeah,
merch
I would love
to
that.
people at the bar and all.
That
So
sounds
it
amazing.
could certainly be a fun time and everything. But no, really can't thank you all enough for hopping on. Obviously, you guys make incredible apparel, and your sports knowledge is right there. I mean, every topic we talked on with the Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers, you were right step for step, bringing in like, oh yeah, like Kenny Gainwell, big Kenny Gainwell guy. You're dropping.
Kenny Gainwell, girls, then you're welcome back on the show.
Yeah, if you like Kenny Gainwell,
Just
Jake
like Kenny
Elliott,
G.
Yeah.
and TJ Edwards, like you'll
Yeah,
fit
yeah.
well on this pod anytime, because they're certainly a talking 2 and 5 favorites. But
Can I say something really quick?
no,
No.
All right.
Good night.
yes,
I appreciate that you guys, this entire time that everybody was like Deshaun Watson, that you guys did not waver on that. As a female,
with us being a PG-13 podcast,
Man,
we
I
get
was
2
like,
an episode,
I
so
can't-
I'll give you one of them here.
That guy's a bitch.
Oh, I was thinking a lot.
he's a monster. He's a monster. Like
He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. I mean, really, we spent too much time on him,
Oh my
so
God.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago, we talked enough of that.
right.
I know, and I actually heard it, but I remember hearing you guys before, and you were so, because that whole time that like everybody every city probably was
Every
like, should we get
day.
Deshaun Watson
Yeah.
every day? And I'm like, no.
No.
Oh my God.
No, we've
have you
talking
told
to him
women or
five, Joey,
men or
Sean,
what?
myself,
Like,
we've unanimously just basically just said, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
guy
like,
could
you were
go
really-
out and do that on his own in the privacy of his own home. He's a star quarterback in the NFL.
right.
You know, the fact that he, you know, took advantage of whatever power dynamic he held over these women
Mhm.
is and that franchises it covered
Oh,
his
yeah.
ass.
Oh,
Gross,
yeah.
I know, right? 30 women they paid off.
Yeah, this
Regardless,
was
it
a
like you always knew
bi-weekly
there was
thing.
smoke
Yeah, and then the
fire.
Browns
Never-
giving him a contract that allows him,
Right.
even if he's suspended for the entirety of
Yeah.
the season, he still gets 239 of his $240 million.
There's so many people, organizations just covered in shit over this entire thing.
Yeah,
I
and
know. Yeah, and it
Josina
just felt
Anderson,
like it was
like
so
what
obvious.
a clown she is.
Yeah. Well,
Just
she's been a clown for
yeah. I mean,
years.
it is,
We know
that's
about
not new
Josina.
news. Josina
Yeah.
Anderson's a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he's a piece of shit. Want absolutely nothing to do with him, and it makes me sick. Just like you said, the organizations. But I have to get off Twitter half the time because somebody like I'll post something and some Browns like Deshaun Watson apologist will hop in the mentions and just be like, "Well, you know, the courts ruled that he was innocent." I was like, "No, they didn't."
They did not.
First
Yeah.
of all,
Yeah,
not
no,
pursuing
there's a
criminal
difference.
charges
Yeah.
does not mean innocent.
No.
On anything like
No.
this, like
I've done
we
it.
talked about this too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't even have to get into it. I just appreciate that, like, you didn't have to. It just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like if anyone was talking about it, it was like, I understand, and we live in America. You have to presume innocence, but it was like, come on.
Oh,
Like,
we
you're
had.
insulting women all over the place by even entertaining this right now every goddamn day, and you
No,
guys. are
I
just
won't.
like,
I won't
nope.
mention the podcast, but we had an
Yeah.
episode lined up with another podcast to have them on last year, and like 2 days before the tweet, there was like right when all this like when it was official, he was going to be getting traded and all. They posted a tweet that was worded just so terribly. That was basically just like, look, I get that Deshaun Watson might be a bit of a pervert, but he's still pretty amazing at football and all. And I called him up. I was like, hey, you guys are no longer welcome on the podcast. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and it was worded so much worse than that. Like, it was something just basically saying, like, can't we get over the fact that he did that? Like, because he's so good. And I was just like,
Yeah.
no. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, guys. Like you're no longer welcome on the pod. Like, all affiliation. Like, and because I gave them the opportunity. I was like, that's a pretty ballsy way to word it. And like I gave them the opportunity to like step it back,
Yeah.
and they just like doubled down. I was just like, all right, well, free country, like go ahead,
Right.
share your thoughts, but we have no
Not here.
affiliation. Like
Right.
you're not. We
And
don't want
then
to promote
free-
you. We
yeah.
don't want you to promote us. We don't want to be attributed with you in any way. And it's
Wow.
going to say that way.
Good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it big time. It's just
No,
felt
of
like
course.
nobody got it.
So we end every episode the same way. Final thought, Lee, Pam. Final thought.
Follow Talking 215, please. Everyone should.
Yeah, this was so much fun.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
We like appreciated so much being on, and yeah, I think optimistic about the Phillies and Eagles
And the Sixers.
and the Sixers.
End of list.
that is all, and the Union.
All right.
All right.
And the Union. And of
Optimistic
course,
about the
we'll win
Flyers. I
league, not the
appreciate you
Flyers.
leaving them off the list. John, final thought.
Thanks for being on, guys. You guys were great. I personally enjoyed having you guys on. Look forward to working with you guys in the future. As far as the sports talk, go Gainwell, go Veerling.
Yeah,
Baby,
really.
baby,
Yes,
baby.
yes.
Gainwell and Veerling all day.
Talking 215 stands.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Final thought, phillyshirtshop.com and Chick-fil-A closed on Sundays.
Right.